Yesterday, Epic SMP Season 2 kicked off, and in this video we're going to be covering a lot of the things that happened in Day 1 of the Epic SMP Season 2. But before we get into this video, I would like to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button down below as we're trying to hit 100k before the end of 2021, and leave a like for the YouTube algorithm. And now that we're done doing the YouTube slave thing, let's move on to the actual video itself. So yeah, Epic SMP is back, and it's being considered a Season 2. It's not exactly a reboot, they're still using the old server of sorts, but they're now opening up this entirely new area, and this time they're going to focus a whole lot more on a more capitalism size of Minecraft, which, let me tell you now, it's definitely a far more interestingly unique take in comparison to what they originally had from the start. Originally being a modded SMP server, now it's evolving into something bigger and better at this point in time. With the fishing festival that they did a couple of weeks back, it was definitely an awesome thing to see them all coming back into the server again, but there was just some form of like atmosphere to their streams. It was kind of slightly depressing because like people were just not in the zone. They didn't care enough to do the Minecraft thing is what they really would wanted to, I guess. Yesterday's streams, the day one of streaming for the season 2 of Epic SMP, was definitely a lot more vibrant and entertaining. There wasn't too many people who logged on, with I think about 8 different people logging on, but there was definitely a decent variety of people that probably never logged on for a while at least, with Schlatt and Ryan coming back into the fray again, as well as 2 new members, Acnes and Sporty, which are both Australian YouTubers. Well, I'm 90% sure on Boys, I'm not too sure on Acnes. Meaning the direction that I pointed out a few weeks back in the Swagger Soul's Big Plan video, that this server is going to transition into a more Pacific type of server, with people being in the west coast of America and from Australia and all those areas in there, so they're all in roughly a close enough time zone that it works somewhat decently, with of course a few exceptions here and there, being J-Slap being in Texas and then other people elsewhere. Another beautiful thing that makes me look forward to this being a good thing for the server is the fact that both Cranky Gameplays and Swagger Souls have been continuously turning their streams into clip-like videos onto their channels over the past couple of months, and so it's a good thing to see. So let's go over what happened in day 1 of this second season of Epic SMP. So first off, an entirely new area has been introduced. According to Trevor or Modest Cube, the government funded out the building of a nether highway that takes us to a new area in the server where there have been plotted out land where currency is now going to be a thing that you actually require to do anything. This new direction that Epic SMP is planning to go is a more of a capitalistic route in comparison to what it was originally, ultimately fully embracing what J-Schlatt and Swagger Souls were originally doing on the server, being capitalist people in a server that was mainly a survival Minecraft. The 2 new members, It's Sporty and Acnes, would end up joining up with Swagger Souls and J-Schlatt in the Bundaberg sector of the server. Modest Cube has now officially become the mayor of Epic SMP after Matt's disappearance, as well as now Matt's given the server to Trevor for him to withhold most of the responsibilities for. Swagger Souls would ultimately end up streaming for many hours. In fact, he's still streaming at the time of me recording this, with his stream reaching around the 6-hour mark at this point in time. And over the time span of the couple of hours that most people are streaming for, everyone started to settle back into their normal routine for the server, as well as to start building up their funds, who start in order to buy some plots of land in this new area that has been deemed as a new zone for the Epic SMP server. Schlatt, Swagger Souls, Acnes Gaming, It's Sporty, Soft Dawn, and Modest Cube, Jaden Animations, Nopify, and several other people would end up joining on the server throughout day 1. It ultimately leaves a lot of hope for everybody who's watching along with this series, because it ultimately leaves it, hey, maybe they're actually going to try and make it come back proper this time round. As I mentioned in my previous video, Modest Cube has talked in a previous Super Mega podcast. Epic SMP is now going to be more like a thing that will appear for like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and then disappear again for a little while, then come back again and be just like an on and off thing that is just in the background. Mainly because the majority of the people who do stream the Epic SMP server are more variety streamers, meaning that they don't exactly want to play Minecraft as the main thing that they actually do. There's also the potentiality of several other people still joining into the server over the next couple of days. It's unknown who they're going to be. Apparently there's still planned for a couple of extra people to join into the server. That's just the start of them today. Honestly, from watching over the current streams that happen in day 1, I'm honestly looking forward to what we're going to see from Epic SMP going forward, and seeing how most people who were playing in the server today were enjoying their time and were happy to continue to do it. They expect to play it again sometime soon. The current idea is that only going to use the exact same schedule that they revealed to everybody a fair few months ago, being the 3-day-a-week structure they plan to do the streams. Or that may not even be the case. They might end up coming up with a completely different thing depending on what people are actually available to stream the server on, when they can actually join into the server and have some fun with everybody else. And with Granky Gameplay or Ethan and Swagger Souls uploading Epic SMP content to their YouTube channels as of recently, I definitely do have some hopes with this server lasting a bit longer than expected, considering how the past couple of weeks have been just more the server in a dormant dead stage and just slowly pulling along while I try and gather information to promote to you guys, let you know what's happening with the server. There are definitely a lot of people around that are thinking that the server is done for and it's not going to come back and that's game over, the server is completed, like there's not much it's going to be able to do. There are also the people who were expecting it to eventually come back once they understand what they wanted to do. And me personally, I believe that was going to be the case, that they would find a way to just work it out and understand what would be the best way to move the Epic SMP going forward. I'm definitely quite happy with the ideas that they have right now for the server moving forward. As well as with the people who joined in the server today, there are still several other members who've played in the server before who do plan on coming back, such as Ted, Navision, and Cool, meaning that we might see the return of the Epic SMP lore very soon, depending on what ends up happening, or we may not. In this server itself and the streams of the past day, there was no much lore actually discussed in the server itself, not much exactly happened when it came to lore, but hey, sometimes that's not the thing that exactly matters. There are definitely some high hopes going forward that this server does end up coming back out of its rocky phase and starts growing as an SMP server once again. It's one thing I've definitely stated on several occasions is the server is bound to have this type of thing where it does well for the first month and it dies off in popularity, then eventually over time it eventually kicks back into life when certain things happen. For example, very soon we're going to see the beginning of the 1.17 update, which may potentially bring new life to the SMP server depending on how many people come back to Minecraft to play this new update again. Moving forward, we're definitely going to see some interesting things come of the Epic SMP server as it heads down this more capitalistic route that it's planned to go down, as well as with the knowledge that they do plan to keep cycling and rotating mods as time goes on, in order to not end up overcrowding the server with mods, and in order to give a fresh experience to all the users in the server every now and then to cycle in some different mods. Ultimately, moving forward, this server's got a lot of potential and I'm kinda happy with how day one of the second season went. And whilst it's definitely interesting that they're calling it the second season of Epic SMP, considering it's still the same server, still the same world, they're just opening up an entirely new area, I also understand it as they want to revamp some form of popularity back into the server itself. Either way, that's all I've had to say on this matter when it comes to the Epic SMP server, but if you made it all the way to this part of the video, I'd like to ask you guys to go down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Until next time guys, I'm going to go back into my hidey hole and become a YouTube slave yet again. Either way, goodbye.